Welcome to the heart of Sooner Nation, Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. And if you aren't familiar with the saying, Boomer, the Volunteers will put total leather to crank us up. Let's see what he can do with the return. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. So the Oklahoma Sooners offense takes the field for the first time today. Here he comes, and obviously defense is always going to be aware of a quarterback, but boy, he finds a way to put defenses on their heels all the time, David.
I mean, what can't he do? He's got the weapons, he's got the confidence, he's got the experience. Jesse, these kind of guys are so hard to defend.
You're right. They better be able to find a way to get pressure on him, because if they don't, this is going to be a long day.
To the air, it's Arnold. It's complete to the right. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains. The Sooners moving quickly to the line. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Might be looking to run. Able to get just a few before sliding to avoid the hit. And here comes the offense on second down.
Hey, listen, it's important at that position to be able to be good off schedule. Everything's easy when it's on time. You can get the ball out. But when things break down and they get off schedule, you've got to have a guy back there that can make the right decisions. He did exactly that.
And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on. Bully ball on third and short. And they'll move the chains and get it to the 47-yard line. The Sooners look to keep this drive humming. Comes out throwing on first down. Caught over the middle. It's Thompson. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup. Second down coming up. He's looking to throw. They're working that left side. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down. And the Sooners come to the line with a new set of downs. Just the ability to move the chains, keep the drive going, sort of quintessential efficiency from a Sooner quarterback.
Yeah, and from a Sooner offense, because, Reese, they keep the drive going, but what does that do?
And he makes the catch inside the 15. Down to the 12-yard line, it's first down. He's looking to throw it. He makes the catch at the end zone. Touchdown, Sooner. The old Larynx is going to get a workout today with all these Boomer Sooners cascading down here in Oklahoma.
I do love that about college football, the individual chance you get. And when you get going early, when you get going and get this crowd going in a game, and they can be a big part of it, man, it energizes the whole team. And you hear what in this stadium, Reese?
Boomer!
Sooner!
And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. He'll bring it back looking for help. And the return man is stopped, and that'll leave it up to the offense on the next drive. The Volunteers offense taking the field. First chance we have to see them today. And both of these teams have anchors in the middle that you build your defense around.
And everybody just seems to look to these two guys when there's a big play on the field that needs to happen, right?
They're making all the calls. They're making sure that they're in the right spots, run, pass, getting everybody organized, and they do it at a high level.
Takes the handoff. It's Lewis. Nudges ahead for one out to the 16. This crowd going to try to make life miserable for these guys. Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Looking to scramble. And he will be sacked at the 6-yard line.
And this is what the offense knows they cannot do. They can't allow sacks. In their last game, they were sacked 5 times. Obviously lost that football game. Early in this one, they're having issues again, keeping their quarterback standing up straight.
The Vols will bring the punt team onto the field. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. He gets his first one of the day out of there, and they used him 3 times in that loss last week. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. Now the Oklahoma offense will go back to work. That last drive, an absolute aerial assault for the touchdown, Jesse.
But it was a nice job in play calling, too, David, just giving the quarterback some easy looks and reads so he could go out and execute.
And he knew exactly where to go with the football. Everything looked really, really easy. He was hot. The ball was coming out of his hands. The defense better do something different.
The sure hands, it's Thompson. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. The Sooners racing to the line in the hurry-up. He'll pull it on the read. They've got it just outside the red zone. They'll move the chains. It's at the 21. The offense lining up for a first down play.
Well, this is one of the fastest quarterbacks in college football, and that's why the option's a good idea. Because if he can get out in space and he has a chance to get downfield, he is real.
That ball is intercepted at the goal line.
I love when people start to understand what we're doing defensively. If they're going to pass the football and that's where they're going to live, well, I'm going to live in dime. I'm going to bring more defensive backs on the field so I can cover more of these speed guys that they have out there. Great job by the defensive back, breaking on the football, making the INT, making the DC look very smart.
Tennessee ready to go to work the Big Orange offense on the field. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
The last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot, and you got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the defense out.
I just think, David, too predictable in that last drive. They got to do something here to get this defense on their heels.
Running back searching for a hole. He was not going to be denied, discarding tacklers, running behind his pads, and finally down at the 40. Now they'll run it on the toss. He steps out of bounds, but it will be enough for a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Might as well give it to him again. And he's a real nowhere man tackled in this no-gain land. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. They think they can impose their will here with the run to the right. And they'll finally catch up to him, but not before a big chunk of yardage is picked up. And the Vols have it with a 1st and 10. The give to the tailback. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost yardage on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. They'll leave it with him. Jukes his way for more. Squeezes out a couple of yards down to the 32. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. Oh, and he just flat dropped it. You do not see this guy do that very often. It'll be 4th down. And they'll send out the kicker to try a field goal. And very important, not only to generate power, but to find his mark, a 49-yard try from the left.
That makes the score Oklahoma 7, Tennessee 3.
So the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away after putting up a field goal. Let's see what the defense can do. And he takes this from inside the 5. Smashes through the tackle. They bring him down, but not before a really good return sets up this offense in solid field position. Power football with the run. Stuffed almost in his tracks, but strong enough to pick up 1 to the 35. The Sooners in the hurry-up. On the move, it's Hicks. At the 45, on his way. They'll get it to the 48, no need to measure it to first down. Offense lining up quickly.
That's a nice run. This guy has it all, doesn't he? He has speed, he has shiftiness, and he has power. The power reminds me of an old great Sooner running back, Marcus Dupree. Arguably one of the most gifted runners college football has ever seen. A guy that didn't quite pan out at the NFL level because of injuries. This dude has it in him, though, and I'm sure he's reminding a lot of people in the stadium right now of good old Marcus Dupree.
He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. Got quite a ways to go to keep this drive going. It's third down from the 45. Back to pass, it's Arnold. Setting up the screen. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed. And the Sooners will try to pin them back with the punt. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. The Volunteer offense is back, and they hope it's touchdown time in Tennessee. Jesse, they had to kick a field goal the last time they had it.
Yeah, and oftentimes early in games, you're just trying to find your rhythm. Some things work, some don't on that first drive, David. It'd be interesting to see what happens here on the second drive.
Yeah, you got a feel for the defense now. You understand what they're trying to do, what their game plan is. Now you get to go into phase 2 of your game plan.
Line gets set, first down. He wants to throw. Just a bit of a misfire there as they can't make the connection. Really need positive yards on second down. After the incompletion, they'll snap it from the 44. He's looking to throw. Grabbed over the middle. It's Jordan. Put it right on him. Sweet play. Good pickup, and they'll move the chains with the first down. And this passing game has them calling Boomer and answering Sooner again.
And they're starting to get this crowd jacked up and this crowd riled up. And listen, they love their team. And, dude, think about all the success Oklahoma has had over the years. Different cast of characters. But one thing they always have, offensive success.
The Sooners trying to pay off the threat on first and goal. Out of the gun, looking to throw. Moving, keeping the eyes downfield. And the quarterback couldn't withstand the heat, and he will go down as we played one quarter. We reach the quarter break with Oklahoma on top. One period in the books, and let's take a look at the stats.
Tennessee, 3.
Now to see if these guys can get back in the game as we open the second quarter. That's the last thing you want as an offense, a negative play, a sack on first down. Bulls his way forward. And he didn't have a whole lot of operating room after the juke, and he stopped for a short gain. Third and goal from way back there. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Fires deep toward the end zone. Fires and picked off.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
Tennessee ready to go to work the Big Orange offense on the field. They've been pretty much stifled on offense so far, David, only able to muster 3 points in their previous 3 drives.
And you got to find a way to open this up and create some explosive plays. Like, the passing game is obviously the easiest way. Jesse, put more speed on the field. Find those guys down the field.
You know they're frustrated, too, because they felt like there were some matchups.
And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13. He is a menace rushing the passer, career sack number 20.
I mean, some people just have a knack for getting to the quarterback. What a great job throughout his career. Getting there, getting him down, getting pressures. He has been a quarterback's worst nightmare.
I was just going to say, David, you don't sleep well as a quarterback the night before you have to play against this guy because he is going to sack you. That is a guarantee. Death, taxes, and sacks for that guy.
And the Volunteers send out the punt unit. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Slips through the line. Coverage team able to put a stop to that return at the 42-yard line. Guys, we'll get another look at this Oklahoma offense. That last drive was a punch in the gut, throwing the pick in the red zone, Jesse.
Yeah, it just seemed like there was some miscommunication down there in the red zone. David, this drive, the QB and receivers just have to do a better job being on the same page.
Yeah, and I think you pull the positives, right? We moved the football down the field. We had a chance to score, but we can't let those opportunities slip between our hands. Let's go get some points.
To the air, it's Arnold. Makes his connection. And that defense is there to guide him out of bounds after a short gain. The Sooners will hustle to the line. They're going to go to the air on 3rd and short.
Well, they tried to catch the defense napping. They're 3rd and short on their own side of the 50, and everyone's thinking run. They go past, but the defense wasn't fooled, so the QB's just got to throw that one away.
Able to keep them from getting a return, and the ball goes out of bounds. They're going to mark it right around the 20. First down here for the offense. The give to the back. Into the pile, maybe got one. He stopped at the 21. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. He's looking to throw. And he really needed to hold on to that one, but it was not loose, and 3rd down is coming. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. It's complete on the right side. They make the stop, but the sweet rolling catch is plenty to give them a first down. The Volunteers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Leaves it with the back. Finding open areas. And they'll pick up the first down and mark it at the 47. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They'll go to the ground. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. Off play action. Slides away. But now he's swallowed up, and he'll be knocked down for a loss on the trick play.
And they've been waiting for something good to happen with respect to getting after the quarterback, right? They're outside of the top 100 in the country in sacks per game, but finally now you see they're generating this pass rush. 3 sacks on the game so far.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. Dropping back, it's Stout. He's got it. That'll be enough for the first down as they stop him at the 43-yard line. Use the play fake, now to throw. Trying to get to it. Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48.
The trend continues for this offensive line from last week. They gave up 5 sacks last week. They've given up 4 today. The most important part of your offense is protecting that quarterback. They've got to do a better job.
This pass rush has just been relentless, and you can bet your bottom dollar they're about to bring the heat again. The give to the back. And they try to run inside, and there is nowhere to go. And this offense has gotten off to a good start on 3rd down, but this is a different deal on 3rd and long. And with this place rocking, the crowd forces a false start. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. 9th play of the drive coming up, but this one will be tough. 3rd and long. Got a man. It's Webb. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. So look at this. They're sending out the kicker to try along. Is that guy's foot human? My goodness, did he hammer that ball from distance. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Colorado is ahead early in Boulder, but that's not exactly Cordell Stewart out there. This game is a long way from being over. They're up by 7 over Houston. We've got our eye on things here and everything else going on right now, and any updates, you'll see them here, guys.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. He thought about bringing that out for a half second, but he'll take a knee and they'll bring it to the 25. Here come the Sooners ready to go on offense. Got it in the middle, it's Jordan. They make the stop right there. Good pickup, it's still short of the first down. And the Sooners want to crank the tempo.
And a really nice job by the wide receiver. You run a drag route, find space. They're in zone coverage. They're not covering man-to-man. Find a little hole. Look at that QB. Y'all get on the same page. You could tell they were, and that's why they got the first down.
And how about the work up front by that big defensive line? Off the RPO, complete. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. On the run, it's Hicks. That one did not go well. Tackled in the backfield for a loss of 6. The Sooners will send out the punt unit. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. He will signal for the fair catch and take it just inside the 35. Here comes the offense on first down. Here comes the option. And he's able to bounce off one tackle for a solid pickup. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and we have ourselves a ball game, and they have a chance to take the lead here before the half. The offense showing motion from the tight end, trying to get a read on the D. They go to the ground. Stop is made at the 44, but it's a 15-yard gain and a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the ground with the back. And he finds some solid space, makes a nice gain before the defense is able to stop it. The big pickup on first down leaves them with 2nd and 1. Leaves it with the running back. Tackled after picking up the first down. A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. The Vols will snap it on 1st and 10. They'll try the run. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. And now on 2nd down for this offense. Dropping back, it's Stout. Looking down the middle. A strike downfield. Touchdown, Tennessee! A great catch and run for 6.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I'll tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. And the extra point is good, and the lead is 6. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they covered the final 29 yards with that touchdown pass. On the run from inside his own 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. The Sooner offense returns to the field. They're bringing heat. Pressure coming. Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver. They'll try again on 2nd down after the incompletion. He's looking to throw. What a grab along the left sideline. Got the foot down in a strong throw. Put it right on the money. The offense calls a timeout to stop the clock. They'll run the screen. He makes the stop, and a nice pickup there on first down. Leaves them in second and manageable. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. Release to the back. Pulls it in. It's Hicks. They get him on the ground after he gets enough to move the sticks. Quick timeout from the offense to save precious seconds. Just inside the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 19. Wants to throw. It's Arnold. And he'll chuck it into the cheap seats there and save the down. Nobody getting open there. Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. He throws toward the end zone. And that one is right on target if his target was the first run. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. Couldn't find a man and just had to throw it away to avoid a negative play. So they won't get a touchdown, but a chance to put something on the board before halftime. Kick is good. The offense has 3 points to show for the drive. So they get the late field goal right before the half and not much time after this kickoff for an answer. From inside the 15, here's the return. Coverage team there to make the stop. They avoid disaster, and that's the end of the first half. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, you've been calling a lively one from Norman so far. And it's been said football is a game of inches. And guess what? Based on the comparison between 3rd down conversion rate today and the average yard per play, how can you argue that? I mean, the low-lying fruit is to look at some of the explosive plays we've seen in panic. But really, this game is going to come down to which team is more efficient when they have the ball and how they play when it matters most. And with that, let's head back to Oklahoma and Memorial Stadium.
The Sooners will try to kick this one deep to get things underway in the second half. From inside the 10, here he comes. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. The Volunteer offense is back, and they hope it's touchdown time in Tennessee. They go to work in the 3rd quarter with the lead, but they have had a little trouble keeping their quarterback upright.
Yeah, and you have the lead, you're positive, but the offensive line coach is definitely going to be upset. And the offensive coordinator, listen, I don't want my guy getting touched. He's being productive, but give him some more time here in the second half.
I think you can do that, too, offensively, by maybe leaving your tight end in to help block, maybe chipping with running backs to help these tackles out on the edge, because you're right. That pocket has been shaky, and if it continues to be that way in the second half, this could be a much different-looking football game.
Trying to pick it up on the ground. Good call, good execution as they move the chains, and they have a first down at the 38. And the Vols come to the line with a new set of downs. Gonna run it. It's Lewis. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. They're looking to get the edge with this one on the toss. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. Looking to throw, it's Stout. He looks that one in nicely. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. And the Volunteers line up to punt it away. And you couldn't ask for much more than that. A perfectly placed punt pins them inside the 5. Give to the running back. Keeps the legs moving.
Offense backed up. Defense knows they want to run the football to create a little bit of room. Nice aggressive downhill attack, getting in the backfield, almost getting the safety.
A pretty good job by the running back just to avoid giving up the 2 points.
Just inch that ball out of there.
And the Sooners are in the hurry up.
Brings up third down.
They'll give it to the back. Breaks the tackle. And what moves this guy has. The jukes, the wiggles, the squirts just went right past him and picked up the first down. To the air on first down. Gets open down the middle. And how about that catch and run? So dangerous, this guy. The Sooners are moving quickly down the field.
Really nice job threading the needle on that pass. They've got a lot of dudes that were able to do that in Norman, Oklahoma. Josh Heupel, Jason White, Sam Bradford, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. The names go on and on and on. Hurting you in the passing game with their vision, with their accuracy. This guy, I'll tell you, he fits right in this Oklahoma offense.
Lethal weapons all over the field. That has been the standard at Oklahoma for several years.
I mean, so many guys, and they built this offense on space and speed, and it's the playmakers out wide. Listen, they've had great quarterbacks, but if you don't have guys outside that are going to make plays, obviously it makes it hard to move the football. These guys, they make it easy.
To the air, it's Arnold. Got his man quickly. Discards a man. And not much doing there as that defense runs him out of bounds. A third and long coming up here. He wants to throw it. They've got the screen set up. They play that screen nicely. He tried to find his way to the marker, but it'll be fourth down. The Sooners will line up to punt it away. He's getting a lot of work. Fourth time he's punted tonight. Punt goes out of bounds, and a really nice job as they stick them deep in their own end. They'll mark it around the 10. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. First and 10 from inside their own 5. You got to take care of the ball, but there is room to take a shot here. And he's stuffed by that big defensive tackle up front. Listen to this crowd just shaking the girders of this place, trying to help their defense. That hole closed quickly. He'll get one out to the 6. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on third down. Looking to throw. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Webb. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short. The Volunteers decide to punt it away. Fourth time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. He'll try to field the punt and see if he can give his offense better field position. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. Wide open downfield. Turns it on down the left side. Touchdown, Oklahoma! And with that one, they jump on top here in the second half.
Speed kills this offense. They've got multiple guys that can burn you. You can see it doesn't take them long to light up the scoreboard.
He'll try to tack on one more. And the extra point is good, and it's a 4-point lead. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Dynamite matchup today, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Tulsa is currently up big right now in a game they'll be talking about all along Route 66 for some time. They're up by 21 over Charlotte. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. May not be the most memorable play of the day, but it's important as he gets them out to the 25-yard line. Looking for a gap. It's Key. And you can forget running in the middle against this defense. And you've already sent your punter out 4 times. At least he knows he's going to get his varsity letter, and his leg might get a bigger workout if they don't convert. He'll pitch it. Got room at the 35. Oh, look out! And that's what this option will do to you. They got the pitch man free, and he was off to the races.
Well, there's a big run on offense, and guys, I don't think a defender even touched him anywhere near the line of scrimmage. That's how big that hole was.
Barely time to catch our breath after that one, and they've got it 1st and 10, threatening just outside the red zone. Here's the handoff. Tackle is made right at the 20-yard line after a pickup of 4. Solid pickup of 4 on 1st down. It's 2nd and 6. Goes to the option. And he didn't get the pitch off, and he paid the price. Already well within field goal range. Wonder how aggressive they'll be on 3rd and long from the 22. Back to throw. It's Stout. Moves away as he feels pressure. He is brought down, but man, what a job to find some running room and move the chains. On the option. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. 2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Running back searching for a hole. Keeps those legs churning for 3 yards. He's down at the 9. A 3rd down try for the offense. We reach the quarter break with Oklahoma on top. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. One more period to go to see who can make the winning plays and come home with the victory. Tight quarters deep in the red zone, but they can pick up a 1st down without scoring. 3rd down. Touchdown balls! And they grab the advantage, taking the lead here in the 4th.
Man, I love this offense, being able to run the football late in the game when it matters and punch it in for the touchdown, and more importantly, take the lead.
If he can make this one, the lead will be 3. And it's good, and he pushes the lead to 3. They march 79 yards on the drive, and what a way to finish it with a 9-yard touchdown run. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So Oklahoma has it again, and here comes the offense. After standing on the sideline and watching that long touchdown drive, they really need to put something together to give their defense a rest.
And that's a real thing, man. Like, you played a lot of plays, you get worn out, you need a chance to go decompress on the sideline, get some oxygen. Palmer, now it's on this offense.
Yeah, this is the definition of complementary football because it's a two-pronged problem. You've got to score points and answer, but you've also got to take your time and give your defense an opportunity to get their win.
And the Sooners want to pick up the tempo. They'll run the option. Now the pitch. On the nasty move, and now he's got room. They'll finally make the tackle, but that option was executed to perfection. Catch in the middle. It's Jordan.
I love offenses and quarterbacks that are willing to take the easy stuff. Take those easy throws that are guaranteed to get positive yards. Yeah, I'm going to take big shots down the field too. But don't forget, it's easier to pick up 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5 than it is when we start getting those long yardage situations.
Couldn't find his man last time. Now they'll have to convert 3rd and 4. Looking to throw, it's Arnold. Unloads to the wideout. And it was worth the gamble, but the long pass is incomplete. The Sooners will punt it away on 4th down. He's getting a lot of work. 4th time he's punted tonight. He'll bring it back. It's Matthews. And he's going to get it up to about the 29-yard line before he's brought down. Tennessee ready to go to work the Big Orange offense on the field. How about that blocking up front and that running game last time as they just walked it down for a touchdown, David?
And the big boys up front doing their job. Opening holes, the backs making plays, everything on the ground on that first drive worked.
And we know that this is the identity this coaching staff wants for this team, right? They want to be the most physical team on the field. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Defense not budging. He's still able to get 2 to the 29. On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Going to try to pop one on the screen. Didn't have much room to run and not a whole lot of help. Short gain there and still plenty of ground to cover for the first down. Yet another punt on the way. Got to make sure that hamstring stays loose. He's been busy. Signals for the fair catch and makes it at the 20. They'd love to put a long drive together here as they start from their own 21. And they'll stop him just short of the first down, just inches away from moving the sticks.
Man, when I can run the football like that on first down and create second and inches and stay way ahead of the sticks and be in a position now where I can throw the football or run, I will have a lot of success on the offensive side of the football.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the first down.
First down for the offense.
On the ground, it's Hicks. He had all kinds of company as soon as he got it. He had to fight his way back just to get to the line of scrimmage. They've been running it, but now the pass. Makes a connection. He's loose. He's at the 10. Touchdown Sooners! And with that, they move out front here in the fourth.
Yeah, and a nice job in the fourth quarter making plays, and a nice job being on the same page. QB, receiver. You could tell he broke with the football. He caught it in stride, gets into the end zone. Nice pitch and catch right there. Nice chemistry by the QB and wide receiver.
Getting set for the point after.
Is on for the extra point.
And the extra point is good, and every point counts. It's now a 4-point lead in the fourth. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. Looks as if the returner will try and field this one. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Volunteer offense is back, and they hope it's touchdown time in Tennessee. Didn't find a lot of room. Let's give him 2 out to the 20. After picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. They'll run the option. He'll pitch it. On the move at the 30. And a big play there on the option. The pitch was executed perfectly. They'll snap it from the 36. They've got a first down. The give to the tailback. Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42. Boy, he's over 100 now at 102 yards on the ground, and that magical 1,000-yard mark is oh so close. And he's to the 48-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down. The Vols have this offense rolling. Using his legs, it's Bishop. They'll pick up 4, 2nd and 6 coming. Got a little work done on first down, now back to the line. They'll leave it with him. He is tackled, but it'll be a fresh set of downs. And the Vols will line it up on 1st and 10. They'll ride the hot hand. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands. They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. Looking to throw, it's Stout. Using the quick game. And oh, he was off to the races after the catch, and they finally drag him down. Inside the 30 at the 29, it's a first down. He's going to pass. Throws to the wideout. Tremendous awareness along the sideline and the ability to get the foot down for the big pickup. They'll keep it on the ground. Pulled down after a pickup of 5. They'll mark it at the 8. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Wants to throw on second down. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be third down. From the gun, wants to pass. The sweet feet buy a little time. Touchdown, Volunteers! They move on top here in the 4th. Needs this one to push the lead to a field goal. He's got it, and the lead is up to a field goal. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Guys, let's get you up to speed on what's going down in this fun college football game today. San Diego State is on top right now, but that's not exactly Marshall Faulk out there running circles around the D. This game is a long way from being over. They're up by just 2 over Air Force. We promise to keep you posted on what goes down in this exciting college football matchup.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. Third and long, backed up inside their 20. To throw, it's Arnold. Coming after it.
Plays like that are the type of plays that win you games. Bottom line, here we are, it's late. It's a close game. It's a huge third down, and somebody's got to step up and make the play.
Gotta have it here on 4th down. He's taking a deep shot. It's incomplete, and they desperately needed to keep that drive going, and they couldn't make the connection. Trying to pound it in. Touchdown, Tennessee! And they take it in for 6 more points.
That is exactly what you want your offense to do. You want it to eat clock, but if you score, go up by 2 possessions, nail meet coffin, great execution by this offense to put this game away.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point extends the lead to double figures at 10. That's taking advantage of a golden opportunity set up with great field position, and they struck quickly for the touchdown. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. Time for this Sooner offense to go back to work. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. Got it in the middle, it's Thompson. Brought down at the 33, but not before he gets 10. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. And just a short, safe pass play, they pick up a few. They'll hurry to the line with the clock still running. He wants to pass it on second down. Fires to the wideout. And he throws his 3rd pick of the day. His head has to be spinning. Not a lot on the return, but they can live with that as they've got it at the 49.
That should be the nail in the coffin. What a great break on the football. Getting the big turnover. You got the lead. Now just go out there, be smart on offense, and run that clock.
So with the late lead, they're ready to just drain the clock in victory formation. This quarterback happy enough to take a knee and head to the locker room, but the defense still does have a couple of timeouts if they want to use them. A little sports history, David. Upset is the only horse ever to defeat Man of War. And that's why we call games like this an upset.
I really had no clue that was a real thing. But I do know this is an upset. This team was unranked, beat a ranked team. But you went out and got your respect. You gained it now. Let's build on this throughout the season. One win, great win. Now let's go ahead and build some momentum in the future.
Reese, some might say you're not a one-trick pony with that reference. And obviously, this was the team, the unranked team, that had the horses to get this thing done. Too much firepower, just too much explosiveness on offense, great defense. What a tremendous win.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.